Everywhere I turn, I see these women on YouTube who talk about how wonderful it is to be solo, to be single, to not need anyone, to be independent, to be alone. Well, I have a completely different feeling, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to tell you why I feel differently. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Well, you know what I'm going to talk about because I just said it. And I have very different feelings. I feel completely different than what I'm seeing on YouTube by mature women who don't want anybody in their life. They love being single and solo and independent and all those things. Well, not this girl. Have any of you noticed all the videos that are done now by mature women who are single, solo, and love it? Love being a very independent person, love not having to share their time or the remote control or anything with someone else. I sure have seen a lot of it lately, and I just got to tell you, I feel differently about it. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about women being single or being by themselves, because for many women, that isn't a choice. And I'm talking about when it is your choice. Some women just choose not to get married and have a family or be involved in a relationship. Other women, when they lose their husbands, they find themselves alone and single, and they kind of have to be independent because they have no one to rely on anymore. So I want to focus on those of us, whether we're married or widowed or divorced, whatever the circumstance is, we don't like being single or independent. For those of you that may be new and you don't know anything about me, I've been married to my husband Dave for, oh, I think it's 43 years in July. And prior to that, I was married for 12 years. So I've been married my whole life. Once I turned 18, I got married, and I've been married ever since. The only time I was not married was the time between my first and second husband, and that was only for 1 year. I love having a partner in life. I love being with someone, especially when you have, a good marriage where you're truly partners. You're not just husband and wife, but you're partners to each other. You carry each other's burdens. You lift each other up. You share in each other's joys and sorrows. I personally just love it. Now, could I be independent? Sure can. I did it for that year. I was by myself. I had nobody but me and my three children. I had no family around because I lived in Virginia and my family lived in Pennsylvania. I really didn't have anybody. And I made it. I made it just fine. Might not have done things the correct way or, how you're supposed to do them, but I got things done that needed to be done. And if I couldn't do it, then it just didn't get done because I couldn't afford to pay someone to do it. But honestly, I like being dependent. Now, that may come across as strange to many of you out there because not too many people say they want to be dependent. But I do, and I'm going to tell you why. Independence is great, but I found something even better, and that is sharing my life with someone. Does that make me weak because I'm dependent? Absolutely not. We've all been told that the ultimate goal is to be independent. Well, the way I look at that is there may be some truth to that for some people, but for me, that's only part of the story. Depending on someone is not about being incapable. We're all capable of many things, but it's about sharing your life with someone and having trust and love and emotional security. I like the little joys in life, the little sweet joys that feel so much better sharing with someone else. I like having someone to come home to. I like the comfort of a companionship in my life. I like having emotional support, someone that I can lean on when times are tough, someone that I can talk to and trust that has my best interest at heart. I like having shared responsibilities that I don't have to do everything here. We each have our own duties or jobs or responsibilities that we take care of. And that lightens a load for me. And I absolutely love having a built in cheerleader, someone who's here to encourage me and to let me know that I can do it, whatever it is that I want to try to do. Someone that's always on my side and cheering me on throughout life. I think our culture has got it backwards. They glorify independence, but humans are meant for connection. True strength isn't being able to do everything on your own, but it's being able to lean on someone else and let someone else lean on you. That to me is true strength. I don't want to be totally independent. I want love and support and connection and trust and all the things that come with sharing my life with someone. And I really would not want it any other way. I think there are many benefits, physical and mental, that come from sharing your life with someone. I think you have less stress and anxiety. You can share your faith with each other, and each person brings something to the table that's going to benefit the other one. It gives me a sense of belonging, and it certainly has taught me patience and compromise over these many years, although I still don't have that down pat. Now, maybe certain things mean something to people who make these videos who are single and are loving it. And again, maybe they're recently single, maybe they're divorced. I don't know what their situation is. But what matters to them is they say things like, I don't have to share the remote with anybody. I don't have to fix somebody dinner or decide what to eat that night because they might like a certain thing and then I can't just fix something that I like for me. Or they'll say, I don't like having to pick up after anybody. My house stays neat and clean and organized, and I know where everything is. And maybe that's true for them. But to me, it's just my opinion, that's a very sad and lonely existence and a very uh, bad reason or reasons to want to be alone and not let anyone into your life. Sure, sounds good. You don't have to pick up after anyone. You don't have to do another person's laundry. You don't have to cook them a meal and all those things. But my gosh, the trade off for all the things you're missing out on, the trade off for having someone in your life, a daily companion, someone that you trust and you can talk anything over with that person, someone who has your back, that will be there if you get sick, just like you'll be there for them, that you know they're there for you. All the many, many benefits. I would not trade those benefits to have control of a remote for a TV, because I don't have to watch TV because I have someone to talk to. I have someone to hang out with. I have someone to love and to love me and to share my life with. So, although I've never been single since, geez, 5 days after I turned 18, I'm glad I never was, because I don't think it's for me. Well, I know it isn't for me. I'm just a different kind of person, and maybe you are too. And please don't feel like I'm knocking anybody that chose to be single or didn't want to marry or have a family. I mean, it was a choice. It's not that they couldn't, they just never found the right person. No, I'm not knocking people like that, because I think those people who made that choice, they aren't coming across like, I am woman, hear me roar, I'm independent, I don't have to pick up after anybody. They don't have that attitude. And maybe that's what bugs me the most. It's the attitude. Like they think they're all that. You know that saying, different strokes for different folks. We all believe differently. We all want different things. There's no right or wrong. But I just wanted to share my side of how I feel about that, because maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I feel total opposite. And if Dave wasn't here, if something happened to Dave and I was alone now, or single, or solo, or whatever you want to call it, oh my, I wouldn't love it. I would not love it. I would do my very best to carry on, but I wouldn't change a whole lot, because I'd still talk to him every day, just like he was here. And every time I did something silly or goofy, which I do quite often, I would laugh and I'd say, I know you're laughing at me. It would be like he would still be here, because, of course, he would be living in my heart forever. So if I became a widow, that's what I would be. That's what I would classify myself as, a widow. I wouldn't say I'm single, I'm solo, um, I'm independent. No, I, I don't care about saying all those buzzwords because they don't mean anything to me. Would I be able to, take care of everything? Sure, the best that I could. Would it be as good as what Dave would have done? Probably not. Most likely not. But I would do the best I could. I would be independent because I had to be, not because I chose to be. Well, I hope this video made sense. It's been on my mind for weeks, but I just couldn't find the words to put it all together. And, I have friends that are single that have never been married, Or I have friends that lost their spouse and they don't feel that way like, "Yay, I get to do everything by myself. I get to be lonely every night. I get to have nobody to rely on but myself. I get to be independent." They don't feel that way. They feel the loss. So I just wanted to know, how do you feel? Have you noticed all the videos out there about being solo and single and all that? Have you noticed it like I have? Do you agree? Do you kind of fall into that camp? Which, if you do, that's fine. Or do you look at it maybe in some way like I do? I would love to know. Well, I've gone on long enough, so now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from Philippians 2:4. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. This is a perfect verse for marriage because to me, it speaks to the very heart of marriage, which is, love, companionship, togetherness, helping each other, supporting each other, being there for each other, lifting each other up, and just all the things. So I think it's a great verse to think about and make sure you have humility in your relationship. And for those who want and enjoy the solo single life, whether it be by choice or it wasn't your choice, adopt the same attitude. Adopt that verse 2:4 in Philippians for the way you live your life. You don't have to live with another person, but you do need to be kind, to be there for others, to share what you have with someone who has less. What if you are single and you live alone and you love it because you don't want to pick up after anybody, answer to anybody, go to bed when you want to go to bed, and etc. And a friend needs a place to stay. I know that's only temporarily, but think of that, how you would react to that. The truth is, I or you, anybody who is with someone who does have a spouse or a partner or whatever, we can go to bed anytime we want. I do. I eat what I like to eat, and Dave eats what he likes to eat. I don't have to eat what he does and vice versa. I don't have to go to bed the same time as he does because there's a mutual respect. We're two individuals sharing a life together, and we give each other the space to be who we each are. I love being married. I always have. And I thank God for my marriage and the life I have had. Sure, there can be ups and downs and complications, and, this person won't pick his shoes up or whatever. In the long run, none of that matters because I have the love in my life that I require. I have the connection to someone that I was meant for. We're all meant for connection, and I'm happy. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.